Great seeing you here in our next video in our masterclass in project management. And here we're in the 10-step approach, but we are looking now a little bit deeper into those missing steps. And the first one is about projects and quality management. Quality, we will be looking at some principles of quality management. We're not going to deep in it, but anyway, you will have some tools available that you can be using later on. First of all, we start with defining what quality is about. Then I look at total quality management, a very important approach today, the TQM approach, a total quality management approach. We look at the total quality management versus the traditional quality approach. We look at the 7 basic tools of project management. We look at the cause and effect diagram. And finally, we're going to have a quick look at the cost of quality. The first thing is about defining quality, and the American Society for Quality defines the totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bears on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. Now we can have courses about quality. I'm just mentioning some aspects, important aspects, for you to have a clearer understanding how to deal with quality when you're working in projects. First of all, we talk about total quality management, and quality management basically started in operations management because we want to have good products, and we expanded it to what we call today total quality management. And total quality management is everything about the customer. The customer is the main reason why we create the products and why we want to have products with a specific quality. Who participates? Well, first of all, we have all the employees who are part of the total quality management effort. We have to develop processes which provide quality, because the idea is that a good process will repeatedly create quality products. We want to have an integrated system so we can integrate all the functions within the company and the organization. There is a strategic and systemic approach to quality within the organizations. Decisions related to quality are based on facts, not on assumptions. There is clear communication, and we apply the principle of continuous improvement. Now, when we look at the TQM approach, first of all, we have to find out what the customer wants. We make something not for us, but for the customer. We may say, oh, we like this, but what does the customer think about it? We design to meet or exceed the needs. So the baseline is to meet the needs. Exceed, yes, but we should not exceed too much, because the quality effort may lead to additional costs that create items that the customer doesn't want to. If you try to sell me something which items that I don't need, I don't want to pay for those extra items. I just want to pay for what I need. We design a process including fail-safes. It's a very important element when we look at lean project management and Kaizen. We keep track of the results. It's very important to follow up on what we are doing. We implement the same principles throughout the supply chain. And finally, our personnel must be involved in the effort, including lower, medium, and top management. The TQM approach versus the traditional approach. Here we have a table. You can look at some elements here. When we look at the aspect, for example, overall, in a traditional approach, we look at maximizing the return on investment. In a TQM approach, we meet or exceed customer expectations. We look at management. Traditionally, it's not always open. It's inconsistent. In a TQM approach, it's open and there is employee involvement. Traditionally, problems are blamed on the people and the people are punished. In a TQM approach, we identify and resolve. We blame the system and not the person. When we look at jobs, for example, traditional, we look at narrow, specialized focus on the individual. When we look at the TQM, we look at broad, based on team effort. So you can read all these different elements in this table. There are also what we call the 7 basic tools, and there is a story behind it from the Japanese about warrior monk who said, I have 7 weapons to fight a battle, and basically the 7 basic tools which were developed by the quality gurus are in fact 7 tools that will help you resolve 95% of all quality issues. And you can do that without any specific, very detailed, advanced quality management certifications. We have different elements here. We have tools for generating ideas, for organizing data, and for identifying problems. First of all, for generating ideas, we have the check sheet, or a tally. We indicate how many defects we have. We have a scatter diagram which creates or identifies the relationship between different parameters. There is the cause and effect diagram, the fishbone diagram developed by Ishikawa. My teacher used to call it the Ishi-Fishy. Then we have organizing data. We have the Pareto diagram, which shows which is the first category to resolve, to have the highest impact. Then we have flowcharts showing how a process is working. It helps us identify where problems may arise. We can categorize different elements by creating a histogram, and processes can be controlled using control charts. We're not going to look into all the details of these elements. We will look at them in certain applications, but it's very important to understand that we have these 7 basic tools that will help you to resolve already 95% of the quality-related issues. Then we have the Ishikawa cause and effect diagram. We look at the effect is about rejects over the standards, and these elements, they can be created by elements related to the material, the people, the environment, machine, methods, and management. So we have to find out what are the different elements. For example, what are the causes of the environment? The temperatures may be low, there may be lights that are preventing us from working properly, there may be high temperatures, things like that. So you can find for many applications the Ishikawa cause and effect diagram, but I'm sure you will remember the Ishi-Fishy. There are different methods, different cause and effect diagrams. You can find thousands when you Google, and once you find a good one, you can adjust it for your specific applications. Another element about quality is what we call cost of quality. One of the gurus, Philip B. Crosby, has written a book, and the book is named Quality is Free. Now, when we look at quality is free, it means that when we apply a good quality management, the quality measures that are properly used during productions will create savings. So you have the cost impact, you have to invest in quality. On the other hand, you have the higher quality output. Less rework, less scrapping means lower cost, and you have a positive net effect. Now, when we look at the quality management, the organization has the, let's say, the obligation to invest in making a quality product and assess the quality at regular intervals. Low quality leads to rework, scrapping, liabilities, and loss of reputation, and even bankruptcy. So when we look at the cost of conformance, is the first element. When we look at cost of quality, we look at prevention. In prevention, we want to make a quality product, so we have to provide training, process documentation, selection of equipment, the time to do it right. And on the other hand, we have the appraisal, which is about assessing the quality. So that's quality control a posteriori, and quality a priori is the prevention, a posteriori is the appraisal. We will assess the quality, so we'll have to do some testing. We may have to do some destructive sampling and non-destructive sampling and inspections. On the other hand, when we have non-conformance, there is a cost related to non-conformance. We have internal failure, which means that we find the issue within the organization or the company. We can rework, we can scrap. We have also the possibility that we have an external failure, which means that the failure is found by the customer, And that's a worst case scenario, because here we will have liabilities, we will have warranty work, there may be a loss of business, loss of reputation, and it can lead to very large suits, lawsuits, and things like that. I think at the moment I'm making these presentations, we have the issues with the Boeing and the blowout of one of those panels in an airplane. And now we see that the quality, let's say, the cost of conformance, they didn't do everything right. There are a lot of issues that happen. But the problem is that they got an external failure, which puts a lot of scrutiny on the Boeing company today. There are even people who don't want to fly with Boeing anymore, or pilots who are really worried about all those quality issues that start arising, unfortunately, from Boeing. And don't be worried, Airbus is not happy about that, because it puts a kind of stress on the entire industry. So that was it, an overview, a more detailed overview of some quality items that you can now integrate in your projects. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Thank you, and bye-bye.